Okay, guys, I'm back again. Good to have you here. Okay, you can tell that in the last video I was as natural as possible, right? Okay, in all my videos I'll be very natural. I believe that improvement comes when you do things over and over again. Like they say, practice makes. Okay, you say perfect, but yeah, that's fine. It makes you get better. Get better. You keep doing something until you gain mastery. You don't have to think about them again before you do them, right? And that's how mastery comes. So we'll continue with what we were doing the last time, and do not forget the should I call them protocols, right? When you're in a meeting and you're like all protocols you observe or standing on the existing protocol, whatever, so that someone does not repeat things they say again, something like that. Uh is the comment section should be used effectively. Okay, feedbacks, whatever you liked about the video, you know they all matter. The critics can also come as well. What can be made better? What other methods could have been done? It's a free place. It's an open university for everybody to learn, as I always say. Another thing I used to mention is that I tend to speak fast sometimes. You just get on a flow and then you're just going and going and going, forgetting. Okay, maybe because I've not been doing this for long. So, and I'm already off that. Oh, I'm actually recording a video, right? So then I slow down again, and then just to make sure everything is balanced, YouTube has a playback speed feature that you can click on. So by default, it's always on 1x, which is the normal video speed, and take it back to 0.75. Or if you feel I'm too slow for you, yeah, trust me, I might be too slow for you. Or probably feel okay, you know this. But one thing is important. I do well to give detailed explanation that can also help you remember concepts, or that can also help you assimilate concepts better. So you might not want to be too fast, trust me. But if you feel you want to, maybe I'm too slow for you, that is also available as well. You can go on 1.25, 1.5. You can put it on 3. If you can put it on 5. I mean, whatever works for you. Okay. Another thing is we all have different learning pace, speed, and we learn differently. Okay. Make sure you do what works for you. If you have to go over the video multiple times, a couple of times, that is fine. Okay, just make sure you get it right. Okay, that's one thing. If you are the type who likes to write, just of course just watch the video and then you take notes and then you do whatever it is you have to do. Make sure you get it. Okay, and if you're the type that you like, oh, so as I'm doing it, you're doing along with me. If you have two devices, that will be amazing for you. But if you have just a single device as well, that means you have to be switching, or you can split your screen up. Okay, put the video on your left and what you're doing on your right. So as you watch, you follow along with what I'm doing. Whatever works for you, just make sure you do that. Okay, now let's add more. Yeah, I believe this is where we stopped. This was the little data we had the last time. We're just gonna add some more data here. Random people's name. Nobody in mind. Okay, Jack Bauer, that just came to mind. Okay, Tony Hilton. I don't know anything that comes to my mind. I just say, what else should we do? Rick Jackson. Okay, Rick Jackson. Yeah, I don't seem to have much feminine name here. Okay, so that I'm not accused of gender inequality. So let's do Sophia. Yeah, Sophia Good. Yeah, I don't know if there's a name like Goose. And what other name? Female name? Mandela. Mandela? Is Mandela a male or a female name now? Okay, now my brain is on freeze mode. Angelina. Okay, yeah, Angelina Jolie. Nobody's name in mind, but let's just do that. Okay, so this is what we have, and I might not go sequentially for some reasons to be able to demonstrate some things. So I might not go, let me delete this. So I might not go sequentially, right? I mean, from the home, let me just pin the tax bar, the ribbon again. And yes, this is called the ribbon. Depending on how you pronounce it, it is spelled R-I-B-B-O-N, ribbon, if you call it like that. So but this is the ribbon. Feel free to pronounce it as you please. Excuse me. There's no challenge with that. So we have this data. Let me zoom in. I'll come here. Then I'll do 150. Let me see if 200 will not be too bad. Yeah, 200 works. 200 works for now. So this is the ribbon. This is the ribbon up here. Yeah, you might likely not have some of the options I do. This does not necessarily, okay, quote and unquote, this does not necessarily have to do with the version of Excel you're using, okay, not necessarily. So some of them we added, like the Power Pivots, Inquire, Developer tab, okay. But other tabs such as File, Home, Insert, Draw, well, in earlier version you might not have Draw, page layout, formula, data, review, view, and help should be constant for all the version of Excel. Okay, so this is what we have now. We have been able to put in this data, right? So you can just take time to type that out. Okay, type all of this out. You can pause the video while doing that. So it will not be okay for me to pause while you're typing. It's not like a live session going on. So feel free to pause the video if you are the follow along kind of person. If not, just keep watching. You can always come back to the video, play it again, and say whatever it is you want to do. All right, so first of all, I want to make this header bold, right? It's just some proper way to distinguish between my headers and my actual records. Okay, so oh yeah, what did I just do? How did I just select everything? It's simple. I might still dedicate a video to some shortcuts, okay, so that I can do some things faster, but I'll be using some during the course, during the entire video as I move along, but I might still dedicate a video to covering shortcuts, you know, so I can be more efficient, do things faster. Trust me, few seconds of doing some things, you might feel it doesn't, just few seconds, I'll just do it this way. But when you have bulky things to do, more things to do, you can see that you find out when you measure, right? When you track and you measure, you find out that oh, it's more effective to use shortcuts in some at some point almost times, right? It's more effective, makes your work faster, and you can get things done more effectively. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so the next thing is we have the data. We want to make this bold. How did I do it? Click on Control. Remember in the previous video I said when you hold Control, then you click your direction arrow, it jumps to the last place, the last cell where you have the data, the last non-blank cell. Okay, it jumps to the last non-blank cell. So if you want to go again all the way, then you click your direction arrow again. But what if you want to select as you move, right? As you move. So that's when you use your Control and Shift. Then you hit your, in this case, we're going right. So it's my right button. The directional keys, that's the up, down, left, right, are usually somewhere around your bottom right. Okay. So you see up, down, they're pointing, they're not written as that. Yeah, some keyboard might have them written, but you just see the arrows. And of course, there might be other functions that they do as well, depending on your kind of laptop. So back again, Control Shift, then this way, I've highlighted everything. Now to make it bold, remember most of our Microsoft Office shortcuts works just well. Control B to make bold, Control I, italicize, Control U underline, all of those things. However, in the first group of options, so we're starting with the Home tab. I want to explore the ribbons. We're starting with the Home tab. And one beauty is that the options are grouped and named. The options are grouped and named. Look at this. You Excel calls this Clipboard. And this is where you have your copy and paste options, right? So amazing. And it's just so nice. This is where you have your copy and paste options. So here is the font options, right? You want to make your style, you want to change your font style, you want to make it bold, whatever it is. And this is what I'll probably do for some of the ribbon, some of the tabs. Okay, I'll just brush through or glance through. Some I'll not even mention at all because we want to focus on the frequently used ones. Okay, we'll focus on frequently used ones, and then others, maybe there might be another dedicated video, maybe, right, where if the request comes, like I said, use the comment section effectively. Probably, oh, this a feature you've seen and you like me to explore it with you. You want to have a better knowledge of what it does and how to use it, some use cases and all that. Just feel free to leave that in the comment section, and that will be done for you. Okay. So, but most times I'll just brush through, focus on the important ones on the or on the most used, yeah, frequently used ones. So I can just hit Ctrl B on my keyboard. You see this becomes bold, okay, and it shows me this option. You might not always get this depending on the version of Excel you're using. So, but the point is Ctrl B made it bold. If I click on Ctrl B again, the bold option disappears. Okay, I do this again, Ctrl B again, the bold option disappears. So from the top here, I can use my bold option again. Do not forget that. So if I want to make it bold, I'll click. It's now bold. If I want to remove the bold, I'll click it again, it's gone. Italics, I'll click. Underline, I'll click. So remove it again, I'll click on it again. I'm bold. So if I want borders around, right? Let me just show you what borders look like quickly here. Just do something here. I can select any kind of border. I can change the color of the border from here. I can change the style from here. Okay. And you can draw yourself. So I just click on all borders. So you get this table-like feel, this manual table-like option. Okay, so I'll take it out. Scroll my two fingers to the right. Remember, to the left, you go this way. If I scroll left, if I slide my fingers left, I go to the right. If I slide my fingers right, I go to the left. All right, so we made this bold, right? We made this bold. And that's what we want to do. We can increase the font size by using these options. It says make your font, make your text a bit bigger. So it's step by step. Click again, it becomes bigger. Probably you're not sure the size you want. You want to test them out. Keep clicking. You can use the small letter A to reduce it gradually again. Okay. If you have a specific number in mind, you can click on the drop down here, select from the list here. If it's not there, you can type yours directly in the box. Okay. You can type yours directly in the box. Probably you're working for a branded company and they have a specific font they use for all their work, and you have a font installed on your PC. You can also click down here and select the font. So this is Area Black. So we have different option. Oh, this looks nice. Okay, so we can pick this, right? It's still bold anyway, so it's bold. Let me see if I have Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm not sure I do. Okay, I've not. So you can just use any font as you please. Okay, so I think I did not select that font. Yeah, I'll just go back and select it. Bank scripts or whatever you call that, however you pronounce that. Oh, okay, this is sticker. The one I picked earlier is not a stick. Okay, light. I picked the light one. Okay, for some fonts, they have the option right in front here for a single font. Okay, that's not important. Let's focus on what we're doing. Let's move fast. So this is where you add the font. If I want to give it a background color, okay, I want to do a background color. I use the bucket. I call it a bucket, or yeah, something like that. So the bucket works for the background while the alphabet works for the text itself. What do I mean? If I click on A, you can see that it says the text itself that changed. And the last color I pick will always be my default. So if I want another color, probably I don't want red, I'll click on the drop down beside it, select any color of my choice, or click on automatic so that it goes back to black. And by default, you can see black is now underlined. Let me pick red so that you see. Let me pick green. You can see that this is now what is there. So this is the color that you to apply to the next one, except you change it. I'll go back to automatic. Now for the background, if I click it directly, I'm getting a yellow color, right? You understand already. Good. So if I say I click this and this is what I get, I can change this to white and I get this, right? So I've given it a header, color the header. Now I can tell them differently from my data. Okay. All right. So I was about to do the email column, and that's why I mentioned earlier that I might not go through everything sequentially, like okay, from here, then go to here, then go to here. Like go here, then come back here. Okay. But when I go there, explore what I want to explore, then we can go back. And eventually I might still go sequentially to now cover them. But whatever I've mentioned before, I'll skip over. Okay. I'll skip, yeah. Now, the clipboard option, there's one main feature we want to see apart from the Control C, Control V that we know. To copy, and just do Control C on my keyboard, right? And if I accidentally make a cell active, this. Now, this is important to mention at this point. We have two states of a cell. That's the active one, where you can see your cursor blinking. And see your cursor blinking. And should I say the inactive or the normal cell status, right? It's just there. So you can see I only tapped on it, it's there. If I double click, is active. Now, why is this important to know? Because when your cell is active, most of your options in the ribbon get disabled, right? You can see most of them, they are disabled because it is active. So it's possible you have encountered this challenge at some point where you feel like, oh, okay, that's why it's not working. Yeah, that is why. So all you have to do is just click out, click somewhere else, or you just hit escape, which is one fast way to come out of that cell and still stay on it. Okay. See, I'm active now. I want to come out of it to format it. For example, I want to give this a background color, but it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, because I'm active in that cell. So the quick way is I don't want to click out and then click back. So while here, I can just use escape. Okay. Then I can do what? Then give it the formatting option. You can see that the options are now enabled again, right? And they are now enabled again. Okay. So that's one thing to pay attention to. Now, anything you type appears in the formula bar. Okay. And usually it's called the formula bar. So most times people think, oh, it's just when you're typing formula alone and all of that. No. You can, whatever you type, if I click on this cell now and I enter the formula bar, whatever I type in there appears in the cell, right? Vice versa. If I come here and I start typing, it appears in the formula bar, vice versa. So I can edit, and sometimes it's good to edit formulas because when you start working with formulas and you accidentally clicked somewhere else, you're trying, or you want to go up, down, some of these things can misbehave, right? They just start referencing another cell you don't want to touch. Right? The best way is like just come into your formula bar and edit them. Okay, the best way, not the only way. Okay, you can still edit directly from here. If you're been using Excel for a long time, you're comfortable with that, you can always do that as well. Of course, we'll see some examples on that as we proceed. So now back here, this is the formula bar you know now. So click this to enter your formula, or just use your enter key on your keyboard to escape the formula. Probably you don't want to use it, you want to cancel, you click this. You want to see more functions, or you want to insert a formula, right? You click on this. You can give it a description that is allowed. Okay, you can say add numbers like this. I click on go. You can see the option it gave me. It gave me these options. So I can read the description here to see which one works for me. It says add numbers in a field of record in database. Okay, this one is database. So what about this? It says return the sum of the complex numbers. Okay, I don't want that. I'm not using complex numbers, the I plus the imaginary and real option. So the sum, oh, okay, adds all numbers in a range of size. I think this is what I want, and I click OK. Right? Then I can start including the numbers that I want. Right? So that's one way. If you're a beginner, you're just exploring the formulas, you can just give it a description, okay, and then just click go. You see some options right here for you to use. Okay, so back to where we are. We want to create the email column now. Okay, I want to create the email column. And like I said, that was the reason I mentioned that I might jump somewhere else and come back here. But before we do this, one thing is important. Say I want to apply this style to this person here for whatever reason, but that's not a good example. Okay, but I want to apply the cell format. So let me clear out the cell format here. Okay, you can see the allowance is formatted separately. I want you to take all these styles here. I probably do not remember the font level, the font size, the color, the exact color, the text color, or probably I remember, but going there, doing them one by one, right, can be a little bit of work. So what can I do in that case? And that's one key option. Just two things I'll be exploring from the clipboard option. Okay, which is the paste special, or the special kind of pasting, and also the format painter. But what we want to look at now is the format painter. You can feel free to keep your cursor on it like this and read this description. Okay, but you see what it does now. So I can click on any of this that has the style that I want to apply, and I'll click on the format painter, and automatically you can see that it has copied, because this is what happens when we copy something, right? You can see it has copied, and all I have to do is go to where I want to apply it and click on it, and boom, it applies all the styles and the format of that cell. So that's one important feature from our format painter. Other things are copy, this is cut, this is paste. So let's do something about paste. So Control C. Now what are the options we have for paste? Do not forget that if you have not copied something, paste will not be active, right? I can click this because I've not copied anything. Once I copy something, I click this, so I can click on the drop down. I see different options of pasting, different options. I can transpose, I can paste as value to remove formulas or to remove some default styles depending on the source where I copied from, and keep source option, various formulas, various options, which we might still explore as we move on. So just to keep that in mind, just to mention. So I had to do that. So in case you copied something and you don't want to paste again and you don't like this thing moving around, just double click on the cell, make one cell active and click out, so it's gone. Now let's proceed. Let's create the email. This is something that might happen in real life. You don't want to start doing this one by one. John Doe at email, for example. Okay, that's mail. Email.com, not test.com. Yeah, not this com, not that com. So not this. So .com. Now, what I want to do now is probably do the same thing for all of this, and it's not efficient for me to start typing. So we have explored this, right? So we've explored clipboard, we've explored font. So let's keep alignment, number, styles, cells, and go to editing, right? Yeah, you might know what we want to do. It's okay. So for those who don't, let's use the flash fill option. Okay, this is the flash. There are various ways we can do this. We can use other options like a function. We can use the function, maybe concatenate, and all of that. But why use formula when Excel has made things simple for us and easy? So I can just come here, this particular guy, fill. Now, depending on your screen resolution, screen size, your settings, and all of that, some options will only appear as icons. It's when you hover on them that you see the name. For example, look at this case. This is showing the name and the icon by the side, right? But look at this. This is showing only an icon. But for some people, the name will appear just like this by the side. You see merge and center there. Okay. So do not panic. Just follow the cursor. That's why I will mention the group option most of the time, the group name. So under editing, this one here, the first column, second row, you see a fill option. If it's slightly different from yours, then look for the icon that's pointing downwards. So don't click on it directly. You can click on the drop. You click on it directly or click on the drop down. It pulls everything down for you. and you see a flash fill. A flash fill, let's read it. It says automatically fills in value, enters a couple of examples, right? Enter a couple of examples first as you want as output, and keep the active cell in the column you want it filled in. Okay. So once I click on flash fill, and you can see what it did for me, boom, it understood the pattern, the example. Okay. It noticed that I combined John and Dendo, and I had it at email.com. So it assumed that that's what I want to do for the rest. And yes, in this case, that is right. So you can see I've just done that. So I now have the email all the way like that. We have used this guy, the author sum, in the previous video, right? We also have some other functions there, but we'll explore them properly. Okay. Now here, let me just explore some of this before I now go back. So I think I will keep them at I'll keep the videos at the home. I'll do for home, but the ones I can crash together, right? The ones I can crash, say I can do insert with page layouts and the video will not be too long, I'll do that. But for the ones I can't, maybe the ones that'll be too long, I'll just do for that particular tab, explore the ribbons, and then stop the video. Do you understand? So like I said, there'll be a full playlist link. You can just check it. You see the playlist and you see yeah, maybe I'll pick the title from the comments. If there's anything like that, I'll just give it a title. I don't know, but feel free to title it yourself as well. All right, back to this place. So what if I want to remove some format option we have on this place, right? I don't want to remove, I want to go back to normal, right? I want everything here to go back to normal, right? I can highlight it, come here, this eraser button, right? This eraser icon says clear all. If I clear all, it removes the cell, the value, everything I typed is gone. If I had a link in here, or say there's a link, right? Because there's an email, so if there's a link there, I can remove the link. Okay. I can clear the content only. Like, I mean, I'll keep the style, but remove the values I typed in, or clear the format option. You can just click on clear format in this case, and you can see everything went back to normal, right? Everything went back to normal that way. Okay, skip that. Of course, it's still acting as the email. So everything went back to what? To normal. So remember, format painter, you can click this format painter, apply it back. Good. I know what you're thinking. Oh, I mean, we can just undo. We just did it. I know. So I'll click on format painter again and highlight all the way down. Then it applies the same format. So yeah, that is what we have here. Sort and filter. When we're done with our data, we'll come back there and probably check something in final select. Probably see we have data validation here as well. We can do some other things, but I've not highlighted any cell. So yeah. Now department. So let's call this person HR. So this person is in HR. This one is in finance. This one is in IT department. This one is in IT as well. Okay, IT as well. Marketing, finance. What other departments when I think of? Okay, I'll just put IT again. Let's just put IT again. Okay, so this is what we have. The department and allowance, salary. Don't bother too much about the title, the column title. Okay, so let's just give in some values here. I can use a formula, but we've not covered formulas. So I'll type in some figures, and then I'll just type in, let's say 20,000. Please, these are not real values. Okay, so do not judge based on, oh, don't start arguing in your head that nah, IT is supposed to be more than this. I'm just going to type values. Okay, so feel free to adjust yours to whatever you feel is more real world close. Yeah, whatever language or slang or context you want to put that. So yeah, that's by the way. So to 20,000, 45,000, IT. Okay, I think because I said that now my brain has to put in a big value. So I'll do 25k. Yeah. Marketing, I'll put 30k there. IT, I'll put let's just put 5K. Yeah, 5K there. Okay, so this is what I have. Oh, that's finance. All right, so IT, I'll just put 10K there. All right, so this is what we have. So we have this small data. Now I want to take my zoom level back to say 175 so that I don't have to keep scrolling right and left. So I'll click on this number here, come into the box and type 175 and I hit OK. So yeah, this gives us a good and a full view of what we want, which is good, right? So this is nice. This is better. Now you can see this is not showing completely. I can just double click to adjust, then it shifts just like that. So I'll collapse this. Yeah, make it smaller. Okay, so now we have a data we can work with, so we can explore all of these options even better. Okay, and explore all of these options even better. So we have seen some of the things here. Now we're coming back to alignment, right? For the alignment, this is where you do this is for the row. This is row alignment. When I mean row, that's vertical alignment. Let me show you what I mean quickly. Let me drag this down. Okay, now I drag this down. You can see that by default they are bottom aligned. They are sticking to the bottom, so that's bottom aligned. See it here, bottom align. So I can make it middle align or top align. So that's for vertical. For horizontal is the ones below. So by default is on left. I can bring it to the center. I can bring it to the right. Okay, so just take it back to the way it was before, make it bottom aligned as well, right? Then undo this. Okay, so I just take myself back. So that's what we have here. Here is the orientation. You can rotate the text upward, rotate the text downward, whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, this is for indentation, just like in your Excel. Your yeah, this is Excel. This is like in your Word document, right? When you indent something. So here is a wrap text or a text wrap option. Say you are working with, for example, a survey data and you have comments, you have feedback. You probably don't want to, let's say, um, HIP. I'm not going to spell it, so I don't mess up. HIP for the EP, for the EPOPO. Okay, POPO, yeah, and TAMUS for the, then just put three dots like that. Just save it like that. So in this case, you probably don't want to do this, right? So comment vary, so it might be longer, some might be too long, and by default, when you automatically adjust, okay, it's adjusts to the longest value in that entire column. So we might not want this behavior. What if I want to keep it? What if I want to keep it in this column? Okay, what can I do? I can use the wrap text function where I'll just wrap the text. I can see HIP for the IP, for the IPOPO. Excuse me, please. Okay, now HIP for the IP, it's a song. I mean, I don't know the region or country where you're watching this from, but yeah, in this part of the world, is one of these songs we sang while growing up. But is this song we sung? Whatever, English people will help us on that. So HIP for the IP, for the IPOPO, TAMES for the IPOPO, and oh no, I've messed that up, but that's not why we're here. So you get the idea, okay? You get the idea of what we're doing, and yes, we can use the wrap text so that it doesn't stretch the column, it only stretches the row, so it fits into that column without expanding the width. Just adjust the row height automatically. Okay, I'll take that out. Now merge and center, well, it's not something I use often, okay, because there's a better way. I'll add a new column, Control Shift plus to the top. Let's say I want to give it a major header, right? I want to give it a major header like say random people's data. I don't know these people, I don't know if you know them. Random people Okay, random people, not this way. Random people departmental data. Departmental data. My bad. Okay. No, not like that. So we can put it into brackets. RPDD. Random people departmental or RPD data. Okay. Yeah, I think that's nicer. Okay, so I'll put it like that. Yeah, data. Okay, so this is what we have, but I don't want it to be left and I want it to appear across my entire column. I want it to appear across my entire column, right? Everywhere I have my data, so it's centralized across. What can I do? Yeah, the beginner way of doing it is to use the merge and center. Like I said, we have better options. Now, one issue with the merge and center is that it breaks the structure of your Excel cells. Yeah, let me just put it the cells. It breaks the structure, it combines these four columns into one large one and all of that. But there is better way without breaking the structure of Excel, where you can just centralize things. But for now, we'll look at these major ones. This basic one. Now that we do that, I just highlight. So I want it to be across this place, and then I'll click on what? Merge and center, and boom. And see, it's now a big giant cell with the data right there. So I can give this a formatting, ash. Okay, I'll give it a light one. Yeah, something like that. Or let me use the blue, the light blue. Okay, so it's just there. So this is what we have. And yes, that is how to do merge and center. Okay, now the number format options. Note that these are not Excel data types. Okay, they are not Excel data type, they are just formatting option. Okay, they're just number format options. And we have some figures here. Yeah, while I was typing, someone might just be like, oh, it's confusing. You type in the equals to, how do we tell? Or now reading these numbers might be as well hard, right? Is it 80,000? Is it 800,000? Is it 8,000? No, sometimes it can be like that. Say you have even larger numbers. So we have number formatting options right here. Okay, so I can highlight all of this, right? Or I just click on the first one, then Control Shift with the arrow down. Again, click on the first one, Control Shift arrow down to highlight. Like I said, I might still dedicate a video to shortcuts, but I'll use some of them as I move. But anyone I use, I'll do well to mention it so you know what I used. Okay, so I've highlighted. So I can give it a comma. It's a comma style. Boom. But I don't want the decimals that I added, right? Of course, in real world of accounting or finance, the decimals are important. But in this case, I don't want them. I might use this to reduce, decrease. If I want to add, I use this to add back to it. Okay. Okay. So in this case, I'll just take them out. Take them out. So this is what we have. Now it's looking nicer. However, you might be thinking, is the commas actually there? The commas are not actually there. So they are just formats. It's just what you see, not how they're actually stored or how they are. It's just they call them aesthetics. Okay. So if I double click now, you see it's not there, right? So I can do that myself anyway. While typing, I could have done 5, then comma 000. Even though I literally type this and I hit enter, it is not there. See it? It's not there. So it's just to make reading better. You get the idea. Okay, so we have been able to add commas, which is better now. But we have been able to reduce decimal, increase decimal. If you want percentage option, you do it. Now I want currency, but this is accounting format. Accounting format is where you have the currency justified to the left and the figures justified to the right. But that's not what I want. But let me show you what that is first. Okay, I'll just be using shortcut, the shortcuts, Control Shift Plus. If I click on this, you can see the way it appears. Okay, but that's not what I want. So I want currency instead. So I'll click on the drop down and then I scroll down. I probably have missed it. Okay, right here. I'll click on currency and I see they stick together. I'll remove the decimal again because I don't want that. And yes, so these are some of the options we can use. What if you want something more custom formatted? You can change these values to a date, right? Because data are numbers, they are underlying numbers somehow. So you can, for example, if I put 1 year, one, escape, 1, enter, and I click on this and I click on say short date. You can see it's giving me the first date Excel recognizes, which is 1st of January 1900. Okay, I click on long dates. You can see that very well. See Sunday, January 1st 1900. Okay, all right. So no specific format. So the formats is we have general, which is no specific format, just the way you type them in. Then we have the number format, the currency, time. You can use them as timestamp, fraction, scientific, etc. Say you want more flexibility, you want more custom option, you can get them from more number formats. For example, I don't like the way this is appearing. I want to add something else to it. I want to change the currency, and by default it gave me dollars. Yours might be pounds or naira, depending on the region or country or whatever. Yeah, region, country where you are, to give you some of these options. So I can click on more number formats, and this pops up. Okay, so you can see I have options to do more what I want to do. Okay, so to do that quickly, Control 1. That's the option to pop it up instead of going all the way here and clicking this. So once you highlight Control, then 1, it gives you the formatting option. And I know it's use all the shortcuts, the ones I remember, the ones I use along the way, I'll mention them. Okay, so yeah, I can come to custom. So we have special, we have custom, where you can properly format your data and make it appear a certain way. All right, so that is that about the number options. Now the styles, right? Styles. We have seen. I will delete this guy up here. Okay, that's control minus. You remember that? Okay, I've taken it out. So conditional formatting, format as tables. Format as tables is what we did earlier. So if I do this, it automatically highlights my data, asks me if I have header, and yes, it detects them automatically. So and it's saying, oh, are they headers? Just to be sure. If I say no, they are not headers, I now check that. Then it has column 1, column 2, column 3, and all of that as my headers. I'll check the box that yes, they are headers, and I'll click OK. And boom, you can see the way they appear. I'm not a fan of this style. Okay, so I can always remove them and just say clear. All right, so it's still in the table, but it looks more neutral. Okay, how do you know it's in the table? Quick one. That also brings us to another concept I want to mention quickly, which is called contextual ribbing. What are contextual ribbing? Apart from the default one you have up here, okay? Apart from the default you have up here, some appear based on what you're doing. Not necessarily what you're doing, but based on your selection. In case you have tables, pivot tables, shapes, charts, all of that, you can have more options, slicers, and all of those things. So more options will appear here. Okay, so they are contextual based on the context. Oh, you click this. So based on the fact that you click this, they appear. And once you click outside that particular element, they disappear. Okay, so even though we have some fixed ribbons, we have some that are contextual, right? We have some that are contextual. So now I'm outside currently. I told you that I removed the style, I cleared it, and so that I can look normal, but it is still in a table, right? It's still in a table. How do I know? If I click back immediately, you can see I clicked anywhere in there. You can see that table design up here appeared. If I click to table, you can see I have on my start option again. Okay, so if I want banded row, if I don't have removed all of those stars anyway, so you can see all the options I have. I can rename my table from here. I don't want table 2. By default, I can call it data. Boom. So it's now data, right? You can see it here. It's in our name box. See all the cells we named so far? They're still there. Okay. So I'll click out, click in, table appear. Immediately click outside that table, it disappears. So it's contextual. Do well to remember that. So we have formatted our data as table. Why is this good? In case we want to do our alternate plus, right? The auto sum. It gives us a well-named column. Skip. It gives us a a well-named column, right? So alt plus. So you see, let me scroll back this way, and this place denotes, see this small icon here, right? So it denotes that that's the end of the table. So I'll take out the sum. I'll take out the sum. Just take it out completely. All right. So this is where our table ends. I click, it appears again. Now we have been able to format our table. Don't forget that that gives us well-named cells, right? It gives us the name range automatically without defining them, which is one good thing about tables. Autofill happens as well, right? You can automatically fill, it automatically fills data for us. We'll still see some of that as we move on. So cell styles, which is some of this guy, you want to put this, feel free to explore. I'm going to use that for now. Conditional formatting. Since we have some figures here, we might want to do some basic conditional formatting. What is conditional formatting? It means you're highlighting a cell based on a condition, right? Let's say you want to see the low earners. Say you want to see those who are earning below 50k, right? Below 50k. How do you easily highlight them? Or you want to see the top earners? You want to see those who are earning above 75k, right? So how do we do that? We highlight the columns we want to format, the cell range we want to format. Then we'll come here. And the first option says highlight cell row, the basic one. We have other options here. Top 10. You see, we have way options. We have bars. We have color skills. We have icon set. See, and we can set your own rule where you say new rule based on the formula or whatever it is you want to do. But in this case, we just go to highlight cell rule. Say greater than 75k. I'll click here on it, greater than 75k. Let's do 75k. And in this case, it's not meant to be red, but by default, the color is red, right? 75k is good. Greater than 75k is good. So I'll change it here, pick the light green fill. Now click OK. So that's for greater than 75k. What if it's less than? So I want to do less than as well. So less than, let's do less than 30k so that we don't have too much red. So we'll do less than 30k. See, less than 30k should be red, and I'll click OK. And you can see, I can easily see, oh, the low earners and the top earner. So just one guy in the IT, Jack Bauer, oh, 24, yeah. if you know the movie 24, the guy is good. Nice movie years ago, many years ago. So that's by the way. So Jack Bauer is the top earner, right? And you can see the other ones and others, like we could have given them yellow, but they sit. We can have a range, but they sit well. Just leave them the way they are. This is conditional formatting. The beauty of this is this: if for any reason this guy's salary increases more than the set boundary, let's say this guy is now earning, you can see that the dollar sign too is not in the cell, right? So it's just the format option is the way it appears. So let's say this guy begins to earn 31,000. 31,000. Immediately the color disappears because it's intelligent. Oh, this is no longer less than 30, right? Good. So it automatically updates as it goes. So that's that about conditional formatting. The basic. Trust me, you can do way more powerful things with conditional formatting. We have some custom option we can apply as well, which are amazing. Okay, now we have explored most of this, right? Now insert, to insert a new column, insert a new row, insert a new sheet. We have done all of those things. So all of this we have explored already, and here we explored this theory already. So sort and filter, which is one thing. Because we have put our data in a table, you will notice that it was then that we had these buttons down here. Without putting them in the table, we can still get the buttons. Okay, you just have to click on the headers or click somewhere in your data and then come to sort and filter and click on filter. And right now I can turn them off as well, even though they're in a table. You can see they're no longer there. If I want them back, I can do, there's a shortcut for that, Control Shift and L. It brings them back. To take them off, Control Shift and L again. So that's another shortcut you might want to note, Control Shift L, or you can just come here to click on this button and then the filter appears. So when we are filtering, what are we saying? I'm saying I don't want to see all my results. I want to conditionally display my results. That's filter. For example, you have people within a certain age range, and you want to say, oh, I want to see people below this age range. That means you're separating them. Don't show me everybody. I don't want to see everybody for now. Just show me these certain people. So you're doing that based on a condition. It's more like a logic behind the scene, okay? So I want to say, let's say, for example, we want to format our data based on department. We want to filter our data based on department. I just want to see the IT guys. I want to see the IT guys only, right? I want to see the IT guys. How can I do that? I'll go to the column that I want to filter and use the button down there. And then I deselect everything and I check what? IT. And I hit OK. Boom. And you can see, I'm only seeing the IT guys. Oh, where did our data go? Trust me, our data is right there. It didn't go anywhere. Our data is right here. So I can clear the filter, click on the button again, clear filter from departments. Boom. It's back there. Back there. Okay. We can do multi-level filtering where we filter this column first, then filter another column. That is also very possible. Okay. Now let's look at number filtering. Let's say I want to filter by number. I'll click on the allowance, the button down there. So now values will be too long, right? The values will be likely long, and you probably, you see, you can say I can filter by color. That's one powerful thing as well. So I want to check the low earners. I don't need to come here again to do that, and just click on this color. And then it shows me the low earners. I can click on this to show me the top earners, right? Good stuff, right? Cool thing, cool stuff, right? So in this case, a beginner will probably do something like this: uncheck everything and start checking. For example, let's say people who are earning below 10,000 or below 50k, and probably start checking these. What if you have about 1,000 records? That is not efficient. You can't do it that way. It doesn't make sense, right? So what do? You go to number filters, then you have all of these options. You see, we have above average. It calculates the average for you and filters your data based on that. We have below average, right? Say exam score. You get all of those ideas are there between a certain number and a certain number, greater than this certain number, exactly this number, between this, less than this, greater than this. See, all of those options are there. So in this case, I'll just say less than, let's say 25k, 25k, and we have the option to say and on all. And when we use and, that's more like between, is less than 25,000 and greater than this, right? Something like that. So, but the difference between and or is and checks if all conditions are true before you get an output, before your output is true. But for all, if you have a million conditions, as long as one is true, you get your output or your result. Okay, that's the difference. When we get to functions, we'll still talk more about them. Okay, so I'll cancel this. I'll just say yes, less than 25,000. I'll click OK, and boom, I'm seeing everyone less than 25 and below 25,000. So to take that out, I'll click on the same column, the same button again, and click on clear filter from allowance, right? So that is what we do with filter. How do we sort? Oh, I want this to be alphabetical, right? I want this to be alphabetical. That means I want to sort alphabetically. A should be at the top, then B, then C, then this, right? And click here, and then I'll click on sort A to Z. That's ascending order for numbers as well. That will be smallest to largest, okay? So, but we're here, A to Z, see, and everything follows. It did not, let me show you something. It didn't give John Doe's salary to Angelina Jolie because we sorted. No, everything followed correctly, sorted all the rows. You can see Angelina Jolie is 10K. John Doe is 20K. Stay as is 20K. The same department, nothing changed. The email is correct, right? So everything is sorted properly. That's how you do sort and filter. So we have some other options here that we'll explore from, let's say, other ribbons. For example, data validation. You want to add, let's say we want to add gender, for example. Let's do that here so that when we're doing it on the data, it can be a recap. So I'll add a new column. So I have a new column here. I want to call it gender, for example. So I can highlight this column, come down here and say data validation. It says no cell were found. Okay, that means I have to do it from the other place. So let me take it out for now. Now, this add-ins is where you get this from. It's Python guy. Okay, so add-ins, if I click on it, it needs the internet anyway. So you see this says Python for Excel. You can add more add-ins. You need the internet, click on it, search for anyone you want. Copilot, AI, whatever it is you want to do, you bring it in there. Okay, so for those who are Python fan, you can always write code with Python. You see, once I click on allow and continue, it's going to load. But of course, I'm not using the internet currently, so I'll close that. So I can start writing Python code to do some things for me. Okay, so yes, we've covered the home ribbon, and yeah, we'll bring the video to a stop here. I'm sure this is pretty long already. I don't know how many minutes, but this is pretty long already. So again, use the comment section effectively, give feedback, make your comment, like it, whatever you like about the video, or what can be improved about the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share with your friends and colleagues. If you don't like it, don't give it a thumbs down. I know you're probably thinking, what if I don't like it? If you don't like it, give a comment back. Okay, so we can make improvements and then go on. Of course, feel free. It's a free world. If you want to give it a thumbs down, but you probably get value. You probably got value from the video, so give it a thumbs up. Okay, you want to give it a thumbs up, like the video, share with someone. And the more you like, right, the more you like, the more you give good comments. It helps the algorithm, YouTube recommends it to other people who might be in need of the video as well. So do well to do that. Thank you. And yes, we'll continue from insert in the next video. See you there. Peace out.